There you go.
Right.
Yeah, I tell you. I tell you. Anyway. Yeah. I'll send you this restream.
There's nothing. We're live. I don't see my intro.
I don't see your intro either, Bill. I have no idea why the intro is not playing, Bill. Right.
I know you don't like all the flair. Sometimes the shine brings too much glare. So we toned it down for the audience's sound. Global.Media. Any old song. Let's go. Time to stop the show. If you don't know, baby, now you know. If you want your book sold, here you go. Any old song. Let's go. 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 Go right now. Global.Media. Let's go. Any old song. Time to start this show. Step in the room, let the whole place shake. Any got the formula, watch greatness bake. Books go live and the rankings rise. #1 energy right before your eyes. From Nigeria to the United Kingdom, building up voices and igniting freedom. Off the stand taller when the spotlight hits. Global.Media turns big dreams into business. Paula got power, Paulette brings the crowd. Alexis makes every written word sound proud. Christiana Johnson let the whole room know. Global.Media got the team now. Run the show, run the show, run the show, run the show, run the show. They make you famous, so you sell more. Make some noise, let the whole world know. Put your name on the cover, then watch your business grow. Books in the air, everybody, let's go. Global.Media in the building, now start the show. #1, big authority, big legacy. Global.Media. Who took the lessons from COVID-19, turned pain into power and built a whole team? Who showed us how to rise when the world shut down? Ineos took the lesson and spread it around. Let's go. He taught what we learned and showed how to overcome it. Put 17 voices together and then he went and won it. 8 #1s, let the whole world hear it. Resilience on the page with a champion spirit. Lessons we learned from COVID-19. A story of strength, hope, and victory. Don't just look at it, don't just talk about it. Buy now, buy now, buy now, buy now, buy now. Lessons we learned from COVID. Buy now. Any old song made history. Show 'em how. Campaigns, we announce your arrival. Turn your book launch into a cultural revival. Faith in the mission, fire in the room. Put your story in the word and let authority bloom. Entrepreneurs, speakers, authors, and coaches, your moment is here and Global.Media knows it. Grab the microphone, let your legacy flow. Any old song. Let's go, let's go. Any old song. Time to start the show. If you don't know, baby, now you know. If you want your book sold, here you go. We make you famous, so you sell more. We build your legacy and open the door. From Nigeria to the United Kingdom, building bold voices and igniting freedom. Lessons we learned from COVID-19. Right now, let's go, let's go, let's go. Any old song. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, the show starts now.
What are you doing?
I have no idea. I'm mixing. Look, I'm mixing. My hands are up.
I know you don't like all the flair. Sometimes the shine brings too much glare. So we toned it down for the audience's sound. Global.
Okay. Are you okay, Annie? There's a little bit too much going on for you. He's frozen. So, oh no, he's not. He moved, I think, a little bit. So, welcome to the Any Hour. My name is William Rochelle, but you can call me Bill. I'm so happy to be here today with Any Osung from Global Media.
Right, there's a dot. There's a dot. There's a dot.
What?
Right, here we go. I know what's happening. So I'm playing on different places. That's what's happening, Bill. But we should be fine now. We should be going the right way. Right. So welcome everyone, especially Christy, because Christy's a true genius amongst us and a good friend to both Bill and I. So welcome to you. Anyone else who's here, please drop us a comment. I can't see otherwise. We'll have fun planned for you today, of course. This is Any Spotlight, so it's all about our good friend Bill. I'm sure you think you know Bill because we all go to his show, his wind down show, and he has many other shows in between. And I'm sure some of you have heard his songs, some of you have seen his videos. But I know there's a lot more to do.
And my backgrounds.
Yes, backgrounds. True. Because the background you see now of for me, Bill created this a few days ago. Yes, this one. So I like it. It's
but look at my background.
I like the purple. Yeah. So what? But you've got a natural. What's it called? A natural place. Yeah, but it's a white wall. You're fine. It's a white wall. You look great against that background for sure. My background's a room. It's an office, and there's printer here. There's filing cabinets. There's things I've never put away. Things I will never put away either. They're just all there, right? Not like yours. It's a nice white wall.
Nice. So it's the only clean spot in the house. So there's that.
You found it, right?
And Christy said I look like a model. So let me tell you what you do, Christy. So this is an old black shirt. I've had 3 hours worth of sleep. I was just telling Annie this morning, right? And so I'm like, all right, I'm doing like this show. I want to feel like I'm on a book tour. So I want to jazz it up. So this is a dog collar from my ex-wife. She had a little tiny little poodle.
I never knew it was a dog collar, Bill. I never knew it was a dog collar.
So it's a choke chain. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put that on because against the black, it's gonna give it some color, right? And then I took this little thing that I wrapped around my hands last time. And I just wrapped it around my arm because it's a whole silver motif, you see. And I had to go outside the shirt. So I look like I'm doing something. But really, I just found a bunch of silver junk around the house, hangers, just wrapped it around an old dog collar. It's so stupid because you go to these.
I told you you actually know nothing about him, right?
But the thing about it is, you go through all this to look like, oh yeah, I got it going on. Then I got to tell you that it's a dog collar. It's like, and it's not like a fetish collar. It's like it was actually used on a dog. Because I know that some people are into fetishes with dog collars. I'm not. I was just like, I can use that and it'll spice it up. And then this is like a little cross. I just went around looking for silver shit. Oops, sorry. Silver stuff.
That's the way. It's all right. It feels it's early, our time, of course. But LinkedIn is an adult playground. That's the way I describe it to people. So they'll get used to it, right? So
right, absolutely.
You make me laugh too much already, Bill, and we've only just started, right? So
hey, that's why we're here, to entertain and remind people. I have a book out, and it's called "The Bogeyman Was Built." And I put in the chat, by the way, the actual soundtrack. So there's a soundtrack that specifically goes with the book, and so you guys can listen to all the songs in order
for free.
For free, absolutely.
Wow,
absolutely.
And then go and buy the book.
So,
and then go and buy the book. You know, you have to go and buy the book.
Do that, because the feedback that I've gotten from people is that the book, once you read it, makes you want to learn more. And so there's a volume 2 and a volume 3. And I wrote it because it was my passion in that moment. It's way easier for me to do something, especially creatively, when I'm passionate about it versus something that I think people expect from me, like a leadership book, or a motivational book, or a coaching book. You know, this is something that hits my heart, and I work on I just keep working on it, and people seem to like it.
No, they like it because I like it. You know, I like the topic. I like your bravery to approach and address, a challenging topic. Why do I say it's challenging, Bill? So last night,
have you read the book?
Yeah, I read the book. I read the first chapter. Hold on. Let me say that. See, this is yours on my communication eloquence or lack of, right? I've read the first 5 chapters of book 1.
You read the first 5 chapters or the first chapter?
First 5 chapters of book 1.
Oh, you did? Yes,
I'm well into the book now. I'm reading it quite happily, right? So, of course,
what do you think?
So I can see you have addressed a big issue for all, but one that everyone runs away from.
Right.
So, someone asked me yesterday, is it about racism? I'm like, no. Yeah, nay. No, it's not.
Right. It's not, because the boogeyman could be anybody.
Yeah.
Right. It could literally be anybody.
Yeah.
And it keeps evolving, because I'm still writing that book. It's going to be named something else, right? Because after the trilogy is over, that book is gone. And when I say I'm still writing the book, it's because yesterday I wrote an article that I did not release. And in the article was about, I don't know if you guys get American news in the UK, but Black people do not lynch themselves from trees and say it's suicide. That doesn't happen. We're not going to climb up on a tree and jump off with a rope around our neck and our hands tied behind our back. So when you say that and no one investigates it, it makes you question, what is the value of a Black life? And then I went into the Nolan Wells story, which in itself is still unfolding. And then I stopped myself, because I wrote the entire article, and then I stopped myself and said, I'm not putting it out because it's too close to this topic. And I don't want to seem like I'm capitalizing on it. So there's a whole host of articles that I write that's on my mind, and that's my release that I never ever distribute to the world. So that when I say I'm still writing the book, it's because things are still happening, but it's happening to other communities, and it's happening within our community.
Yeah.
So it's not about racism, because once you get through the book, you'll recognize that it's whoever the machine needs to feed itself. And when I say feed itself, it means the machine feeds off of fear.
Well, the fear, I guess, division.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I guess so, and false hierarchy. That's probably the way I describe it. Essentially. Go on, please.
Did I send you, or did I put on the chat the Instagram post that I saw yesterday?
No.
It was very interesting. It was from the 50s, and it was talking about the power. It was a Caucasian man, and that's only for relevance, because in the 50s we didn't really have Black newscasters. And he was talking about, the black dollar and how they weren't coming downtown to spend it, that they were keeping it within their community, and there was a lot of it to spend. And that was a problem. So there's things that come out every day that I'm like, ooh, I wish I had this for the book, or I wish I had that for the book. But it's constant, and it's not about one group of people. Although the book right now is focused on that one group, or a group. Actually, it's focused on multiple groups, because in the beginning there was unity across everybody, and then there was the creation of the hierarchy. In that creation, read the book. I can't go into it.
Yeah, I think I can see lots of different people in the book. I think we can all see ourselves in the book, in the stories that you're sharing. But I think
we can also see that we judge people before they open their mouth.
Of course.
And that's something that's built into our that's not in most cases it's not our gut intuition. It's how we were wired, programmed through media, through social media. For you and me, it would have been television shows, right? And for the people, the group today, it would be social media, which is even more dangerous, because in social media, they can target you with algorithms and feed people only what you want to hear. So you always feel like you're right. You're like, because it's telling me everything that I want to say.
Yeah, that's an echo chamber effect, right?
Absolutely.
You watch and listen to what you agree with, which means you watch more. You only get to see your point of view.
Absolutely. And unless you're looking at something like ground news, which gives you it kind of collects everything and then gives you a score across the board of opinion piece, factual, unverified, and then false, right? So you kind of know which media source it came from, and it just groups everything, and that way you can look at something, because you don't want to be in a silo, but you can understand that they've done the fact checking for you.
I just want the truth, Bill. I just want the news to tell me the truth. That's all I want.
The problem with that, and I'm not in the UK, but the problem with that is that they won't tell you the truth right now because the people in power are complicit in things that are going on.
But what's the point? What's the point of being a news channel when all you're doing is spewing, I don't know, or spewing lies or spewing a fantasy story? Why not just the news doesn't have a choice, Bill. The media doesn't have a choice. Apparently they do, but they don't.
Well, right now, Rupert Murdoch owns Fox News. He owns either the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times. There's another billionaire that just acquired CNN, Warner Brothers, and Paramount, I believe. And so these are all the people. Remember when we had the inauguration over here, there were a group of people behind them. They were all billionaires. And so, Jeff Bezos owns Amazon. He owns another news magazine that we can no longer trust, and Amazon Prime, right? So that's all media. And so who's controlling the media? It's everybody in that one circle, the 8 that were behind him.
You see,
Gabe Little just said it. Barry Weiss, yeah. So it used to be, used to be where there could be no. Chris can tell us, but there was a system in place that would not let an entity in the United States become too powerful. And then they removed all the regulations in 2024. And then that's when all of the social media people started buying up all the other media companies. So they're all under like 3 people. Think about that.
Bill, you're asking me to think about the impossible. Look, when you're a news channel, a media channel, what you do is find out what's going on, what's happening, and then you report what's happening. What you can't do as the media, which is what they're doing today everywhere, is they're making up the news themselves. That's not news. That's called propaganda.
Exactly. And don't forget, people, and this is how dumb it is, people still watch Fox News, but Fox settled a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit for libel because they were complicit in telling false stories to the American people.
Yes.
And they're still doing that.
They're still doing it every day. Look, I'm crying because I'm now forced to find news streams, news channels that's alternative to mainstream. I'm not going to say I watch BBC News anymore because I know what they're doing. I can see what they're doing because the truth is out there. It's not even that far away. Look on YouTube. You might think some people are a bit kooky, but literally, it's not like some people are telling you the truth.
Yeah.
So why would I rely on those idiots? Who I know are lying to me. It's very weird, very weird.
But the question really is, why are they lying? Why have people sold their souls, pivoted on their views? Either they have someone has something over you, or you're afraid for your life. Marjorie Taylor Greene said that she was getting death threats just being in Congress, and so Jasmine Crockett and other people. So if you go against the machine, it's not if you go against the machine, it's not. It's no longer an option. It's almost like you comply or you get destroyed. So when they first took over, they got rid of all the Black journalists, like in one full swap. Don Lemon, Joy Reid, a host of them. And then anyone that leaned with a certain value, they got rid of them. And they all moved over to YouTube and started their own channels. And those guys are pioneers. They're brave because they were told, get out because you're not willing, or we don't think that you're willing to reduce yourself for our cause. There she is.
Hello.
Hello, Christiana. I can't see you yet. Bill can see you. I can't. Very weird.
I may be thrown off again. I've had to try about 7 times to get on the show this evening. It's ridiculous. I was on another show earlier on today, and I kept getting thrown out. So I don't know what my laptop is
Welcome
doing.
to tech. Welcome to tech.
Thank you. Thank you to the tech world that we're in now. Hey, Bill, how are you doing? Wonderful
I'm doing
to see
great.
you, as usual.
I'm doing really, really well. How are you?
Well, he's doing well on his tea and coffee dosage, which
Yes.
having a lot of that stuff.
Tea and coffee dosage, and still the top #1.
Yeah,
I don't know where I'm sure that's done, but it'll go back up because I'm going to start. I told Annie tomorrow I'm meeting with a PR person that is going to go through their list of contacts to get me on shows to talk about it. And it's shows that cater to self-published authors. And then Christy got me into a group of Black leaderships, and I believe they have like I don't remember how many
on
members
LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, Black authors and then Black leadership, and it's a really big group and it's request only, and they agreed to promote my book.
I'm sure I'm part of that group. Let me go back. But yeah, congrats.
Yeah. So you know we're putting everything out. I put out a book and I didn't think about what am I going to do to support it. I just put it out. And I still haven't looked at rankings and things like that. That's why it was so weird when Annie told me that, oh, it's doing good, or you know, in this category. And I don't care.
You know, saying that's it. Let's be. We have to embrace being #1 is a lifetime achievement. You've achieved, and you've achieved on Amazon at least. So. You know, you're forever a best-selling author, even if you do nothing else in life. You know, even if you go and get to get on the New York Times bestseller list, you need a load of money.
Right.
Load of money. Right. You know, I'm told more than people can ever even get their head round. You know, 50 grand thereabout.
If you're Ken and Mary. Ken and Mary. Really. They did the UK's one, I think, Times bestsellers with their book, the very first book they got out. It's possible. Anything is possible. They didn't think they could do it, right? They are the founders of the Humble Penny. I'm saying this to you. I'm saying this to say, don't give up because anything is possible. You just got to believe and make the right connections. It's really about the right connections.
I am so excited. I feel like everything is aligning for me right now. And, you know, there is hope.
Yes.
You know, and hope is a powerful word.
Absolutely.
You know, when people lose hope, they lose their identity. They forget who they are.
Yes.
I
And what they're
have
made of.
and what they're made of. I have a song called "Remember Who You Are," and I when I do things, when I write things, it's very interesting. Some people, everybody wants to question things like, "Oh, do you write these things, or is it AI?" If you listen to everything, it's fully me. It is my message. It is my heart. When I write a song, and it is everything is done by me from beginning to end. But no, I don't play every instrument, right? I do not. But neither do most record producers right now when they're going into the studio. I sing most of my songs. I didn't sing any. I blessed him without having to hear my voice. But
Bill had
you
two
mean
things.
what? Not really the voice.
Things in this video. A picture of Annie and Bill singing. And I was like, yes, it's done well.
but
that's a dream.
But my songs are auto-tuned. But so was Britney Spears. So was Janet Jackson. So you know, some of my Mariah Carey stuff when because we've heard her. Yeah, we've heard her. And you know, so what am I doing different? You know, and
use Suno, and you
that's
have
what
the best
what I
voice
use.
ever. There you go.
That's what I use.
There you go.
But the messages, like I can write 10 songs in a day because and then I can write nothing for 2 weeks.
Yes.
You know, because I'm on fire about something, and you know, remember who you are and that's on my mind. People are always say, what's your favorite thing that you've done? It's always the last one.
Yes.
You know, like right now, I'm like, I like the way I did the intro today. I like that, and I did a #1 song for the Boogeyman. It's part of the. I'm gonna go back to my thing for a second. It's part of the playlist, and I was like, I should take that beat that I gave to Innie and put it back on
myself.
Because when I did the #1 song, the #1 song, I was excited, but I wasn't emotional. I was just like, I just want to put something out. You know,
We're not connected.
Where when I did Innie's, I was doing it while I was watching his show yesterday. So I was watching him, and then I was writing. I was writing the lyrics, and then I was producing it. So at one point, I didn't hear what you were saying because I was.
Like, you weren't there, Christiana. Like, it means you didn't hear what we were saying, so it doesn't. Like, it's fine.
I have to. Is it on here? Can I replay it? Watch it again.
What my new show song?
Yes.
You can watch it at the end. How's that? But Bill's playing it. Bill's.
I may not be at the end.
What are you gonna do? How are you gonna play it now whilst we're talking, Christiana?
I'm going to be on my phone. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to
How are you gonna do that? What?
So Christiana is in the video, and it doesn't look like look like you, but it really, when I did the image, it was of you, and there's an image of you too, Innie. You're the guy talking in the mic.
Yeah. Normally they try and get close to me, you know. And look,
and Christiana is the only person whose first and last name is in the song. And so your image is the woman that's talking to another woman with an iPad, and you're kind of walking through something, almost like it's a doctor's office or a therapist's office, but it's a woman, and she's talking to another woman. And the way that I envisioned it is, you know, you're counseling someone right after something happened.
That makes sense.
Everything in it, if you watch it, closely, there's little things that kind of tie in to people that have touched me in the any world.
Bless you.
Yeah.
That is so sweet.
Isn't it just?
Thank you.
It is. It really is. Look, before we carry on, let me welcome our friends. That way, I stop feeling bad about not respecting their
friends,
time.
who's here?
Chris P's here.
Hi, Chris.
Restream, I don't say your name too quick, but yeah. So Chris P is here. I'll press the buttons and I'll put my hand up. That way you can see I'm just waiting like a fool. Of course, Christy is here as well. Christy, what's that link? Christy's got a link. So is that to the playlist? If any of you is wondering how do I get the book, the link is right on the screen in front of you. You can see it there, right? The Amazon link.
My neck, guys.
Right. The Amazon link is there for you to go and buy the book. Of course, and we're going to put the link in the comments as well. I say Super Males.
The big link from Christy, if you want to play it, it's the Instagram thing that I was telling you about yesterday, and it really does. It is on topic if you want to play it. If you don't, that's fine. It's not a bad video. It's just how people thought.
Is it one video or is it several videos?
No, it's just one.
Just one. Okay, I'll look at it. I can do that, Cristiano. You can't. How you doing, Mel?
Okay, then.
How's the anniversary parties going?
Hi.
So welcome. Thank you for giving us some of your time today. As we get to know Bill better than ever.
In the hot seat.
Yes.
I'm in the hot seat.
You are. You are. No, okay. Hold on. Wasn't say Crystal? I see you too, Crystal. Glad you're here. How do you get back to Crispy's message, bro?
I don't know how the weather is in Miami right now, Crystal, because I went outside at 7:00 this morning with my dog, and then I have not gone back outside, and my blinds are closed so that you guys can see me. Because if I open the window, then it would be all the
sun. You'd be like me, sun blinding you.
Yeah.
Just nothing I can do about that, but it's fine. I'm trying to hide away from it. I go lower and lower until the sun goes. So, Liana, welcome. So glad you could join us. So great to have you here.
Hi, Liana. I've not seen Liana for quite some time.
Yeah, but she's here. Now you can say Gabe. Right.
I agree, Gabe, 100%. Gabe has not asked me to join his show and to interview me about the book. I think that would be fun.
It takes bravery, Bill, to invite you onto our shows. We have to be brave.
The question is, are you ready for Bill? Are you guys ready for this man? Right?
What do you mean it takes bravery? What the heck does that mean?
You're a whole present and a half, and then some.
Social media is a bad place.
I sent Innie a message last night that said, "I refuse to come on unless you play this opening."
Oh gosh, diva!
Right.
That's out loud. Who said that?
Right. I was like, me. But it honestly, I did it for him because it says nothing about me.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
It doesn't mention me at all. But I was like, So let's make sure we got his background set. See,
this one here, this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell everyone something. Do not complain about somebody's something unless you're gonna do something to fix it.
Yes, I agree.
So I was looking at Innie's a little shaky, going back and forth, little image with the gospel song, and I was like, we need to fix that too. So, and now I'm gonna do. He wants it shorter, so I'm gonna make him something that he can play for 30 seconds.
A minute. 30 seconds is too short. Very few shows of mine have 30 seconds because they're all a minute long. Literally, I can think of one. Lisa's.
By the way,
only one that have
my song was Bill. So Annie got my whole song down to 1 minute. It was a 5 minute long song that was
Yeah.
butchered down to 1 minute.
But did he do it well, or did he like dissect it and you were just like, I don't even recognize it?
I'm still deciding.
Bill, I have no skill. I don't do any of that technical stuff at all. What I do is I just say which minutes do I want, and then I move the slider, and
so
then
you butchered it.
I killed it. I destroyed it. It's fine.
Yes, it's cool.
Yeah, but sometimes I will at least find the chorus at the end. That's what I try to do. The rest of it is nothing. It means nothing to me.
All right, so do me a favor. Do not butcher my song. I will make you something that fits your timeline. I'd rather do that than you take something and move a slider and it just starts and ends in this really weird fashion. Let's keep the skills going. So
you do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I mean, when I was going through it, you donated, I think $1 or $2, but I was able to buy some gum, and I really appreciated that. Because you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do it, and
that's amazing.
Everybody out there that contributed helped me get over a vital hump, which allowed me to think for a second, to put the books together. I launched my new website, to understand what direction I want to go in. You can't figure out what direction you want to go in when you don't know what you're going to eat that night. Or if you don't know if you're going to have electricity and you just bought food that someone else kind of gave you money to buy the food and you bought it, but now your electricity is going to get cut off, and your refrigerator is going to be shut down, your oven, your microwave. How do you eat? So I was in a really, really bad place. And for me to come out and say, hey, I need help, that was rough. I did not want to do it. I did not want to do it. It was Martha that said, when she kind of looked behind the scenes and found out where I was at, and she was like, no, you don't have any time. You need to do something now. And then she said, all right, so now you need to do a video, because no one's going to do it just because, you put something up. And I was like, but I don't want to do a video. And she said, you have to. That's why the videos look like someone called it a hostage video.
Oh dear God.
But I didn't know what to do. And it's difficult because everyone's sitting out there going, well, why don't you get a job? Well, motherfucker, sorry. Why didn't I think about that? I've been trying to get a job, and it's the traditional way has not worked for me yet.
Yes.
And I had to come to terms with the fact that the traditional way was not working for me. It doesn't mean it's over.
Yes.
It just means that I needed to think outside of the box. So I published the books. I published my websites so people understood that I will create a website out there for you guys. And my prices right now are rock bottom. Go to my website. Go to my website. Yeah, it's
going to create your website.
It is WilliamRochelle.com. Look at my website and understand I did that myself. And it's not just a website, it is a flywheel. So if you understand what flywheel means, which I know you don't, Christina just said, And Christiana said, She didn't know what she didn't know.
Flywheel is in my car. I just remember flywheel in my car.
Exactly.
Christiana, that's very good.
That was pretty good. So what it means is that every time I do anything, it connects to my website and then it spiders out to Google. And so I did that because I need I'm always on a show 3 or 4 times a week. I'm always doing an article or writing a song. So there's so much content out there. And I need people now to connect that to the boogeyman.
Yes.
So now in about a week, I would say, when you start Googling William Rochelle, the boogeyman should start coming up. The reason why I say give it a week is because I tested it on YouTube. And so
back in with Bill.
YouTube is like at the top right now, and it's only because that was my test mode.
Yes.
So I've automated all my SEO, I've automated all my GEO with YouTube. It rewrites my hashtags and my posts. So after this show, because I'm streaming it to YouTube, any might see a different title on it because my system is developed so that it recognizes when there's a new drop, and then it automatically, once I can't afford like every 2 minutes because it's a cost, but every 24 hours it goes out there and says, is there anything new? And then it says, what can we do to make this better from a search perspective? And so I'm training Google to understand who I am and my leadership and my podcast and my LinkedIn and now the book. So by the time volume 2 comes out, because I am a business person, that's how my mind works. When volume 2 comes out, the traction from volume 1 will already be built through what I'm building right now. So volume 2 will automatically populate equally to volume 1. So we're no longer starting at ground zero.
Nice.
And then by the time volume 3 comes out,
I like that idea.
It volume 3 doesn't have to go up because it's already in that boogeyman series. So collectively they rise.
No. Yeah. What's happened to his volume? Can you still hear Bill?
We can't.
Can I see who?
Oh, I can hear you.
Yeah, we lost you for a second.
Yes.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still here.
Yeah. No, we can see you talking. We can see you, but we can't hear you. See, like now we can't hear you. What gives?
You can't hear me now?
I can hear you now.
We can hear that bit. Well, that's it. Right, stop talking. Stop talking, Bill.
Okay.
Stop talking. I don't know what's going on. It's so weird. We say we can't hear you, and the Bill says, "Can you hear me now?" We're like, "Yeah," and then we can't hear you again. Like now we can't hear you.
Well, I'm not talking.
It's not talking. That's why, Annie.
What do you mean it's not talking?
It's not talking. Bill, say something, please.
He told me to shut up.
See, I can hear him perfectly fine. Can you hear him?
I can see him on my screen moving. Okay, right. Okay, all right. Now it's my bad. I know what.
And clean your ears out, please.
It's not clearing my ears. It's tech play. Tech is playing with me again, right? So I'm watching on LinkedIn, which obviously a few seconds behind StreamYard or Restream, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'm back to you now, Bill. You're not talking.
No,
Try talking. Like now you're talking now, right? Okay, right. So we're back.
I can hear you perfectly fine. Don't mind.
That's all right. Let's get back to what I want to talk about. It's my show. It's my show. That's what I want to talk about today, right, Bill? Do go and say do go to Bill's website and get his. I won't say free website development.
It's not free, y'all. No, but and you get one revision because one of the things that and Christy is my manager. She manages me, but the promo cost I will share that. I will repost it. It's for the first 5 people, and then it goes up from there for the next 5 people. So I'm doing 10 under $1,000, and then but the price starts off low and then goes up a little bit higher, and then after that it's based on demand. So I'm doing everything.
Sounds like it.
You're gonna need a mortgage of sorts, right? No, I didn't say that. I'm only joking. But literally, you can't have a website without investing in something. It's going to buy your domain. It's going to buy your hosting. I'm saying these things are going to cost money anyway, right?
Right.
That's not Bill's money, so that's fine. Right. Let's get back to my conversation, Bill. So I like what Gabe says. Social media is also a bad place to find your news source because bias is part of our culture. Think of that.
I agree.
This comes back to Bill's book. I agree, but what choice do we have? We don't have a choice. This is our problem. This is why I'm so annoyed. The only place you can find decent news is by finding the right channel on YouTube. Yes, some media people have their own websites, but not all of them. And some of them are just a damn shame. But everyone's on YouTube. Every video is what it is, right? So this is coming back to Bill's book. Is it a history book? Yes. Is it a racism book? Yes. Is it a sexism book? Maybe. I'm saying, there's many different things in there.
Yeah.
There's many topics. And it's eye-opening. It's eye-opening. It's horrific. If you let it sink in the way it can. But deep down, for me, I think it was more eye-opening. That almost how you've traced where this thing started almost is kind of weird. It's hard to think. Many of the things we take as just being normal these days, they started one day, one place, one man's idea, one woman's idea, and someone had to try something. And humanity or society, like fools, fell for it, and look where it got us.
and they continued it. They continued it, and they just fed the beast. And I don't know if you've gotten to the part about crimes yet, where we break down the statistics, but that one was one of the most eye-opening for me, because the news reports one thing. But if you look at it, it's the same across all, and it's the way that they use words. It's the way that they try to own other people's stories. It's the way that they try to silence women. It's everything. It's everything.
It's very sad. But I say, well done for addressing these huge topics. I guess my question to you is where can you go with your books now? Because when my friends write books, many hope to get on public speaking stages, right? Some want to turn their books into courses, into coaching. What's your vision for your books now you've written them?
The book is for healing, and the book is really, my objective is to get everyone to question why. And then once you question the why, and you turn and you look at the person that you're judging, and we all judge people, then you can reflect on why you're judging them. There's no reason to judge somebody else. There's no reason to care what somebody else is doing in their home, as long as it's not something that is hurting somebody else. I don't care, about your religion. It doesn't mean I'm I'm against religion. It just means I know that you have the right to worship the way that you want to worship.
Oh, yeah.
And I need to respect that. And I can listen to it. I can listen to you. And we should be able to have a conversation without hating each other. And so all of this hate that's going around, that needs to be resolved. And listening, you and I talked about this the other day, because of your wife and what she hears is different than what you hear. And it's very, very disturbing, because no, it is. It is.
The reason I laugh is because it's, you know, that's it's become the norm.
People don't even flinch anymore.
It's what people are. It's what society has become.
We forget that someone got shot in the face the other day. We forget that someone was lynched. We forget. We have the attention span of a gnat. Of a gnat. 5 seconds. 3 seconds.
Do we forget? Wow. Again, I think it goes back to the source. You know, what is causing the lack of attention on the things that are happening in our society? That's why we talk about the media just now. You know, it's partly about the media. But there is a deliberate intent to divide and rule. That's what this comes down to, and that's what your book speaks about all the way through, right?
There's also a deliberate attempt to overwhelm us. So every time we're focused on one thing, they're throwing something else out there that's even more chaotic. And I think people become desensitized to it. A lot of my friends say, oh, well, I don't pay attention to the news. How can you not? They're taking your voter rights away. There's a young child that went on a group trip with his friends. He came back. 5 people left. 4 came back. So the 4 white guys came back. The black guy, no one knows what happened to him. And then his body washes up, and no one understands no one knows what to do. And the parents of those 4 kids will not let them talk to the police without an attorney present. Then you take yourself back to the Central Park 5 and recognize that those people weren't even given the rights of attorney. They were thrown in they were convicted before they even went to court. And our current president put an ad out saying that these people need to be killed. I want the death penalty for these children. What no one recognizes is a black child at 14 is a child. It's a child. You put a child away for 30 years for a crime he did not commit. And you did not give him the due process that he needed. Yet, 20 years later, we have a black kid in Mississippi washed up on the shore and 4 white kids running free, and they don't need to talk to anyone until they get their attorneys involved. That's different. And I'm not going to say it's different because of the race. I'm saying it's different because of the way that people view the life of a black kid. Let me tell you this: if 5 people went out and 4 of them were black and 1 was white, and the white person showed up on the shore dead, and the 4 black people say, I don't know what the hell happened, do you think that they would be like, no, what do you mean wait for your attorney? You're coming with us, all 4 of you, and you're sitting here until one of you confesses. And that logic is systemic. It's been handed down by generation to generation to generation. And unless we, and when I say we, I don't mean a race, I mean we as people, wake up and recognize the lies that we've been sold. And organize like we did in the beginning. I'm not giving away the book, but if you do nothing but just read the beginning, the opening chapter, you will recognize why we're in this position today. Indeed. Everyone was united. And did something scare you? Did a ghost pop in?
My wife popped in with something shoved up her nose.
No. Bye. Adios.
Yes. She popped in, Bill, and she had this thing up her nose. I'm like, what the hell is that? Just with my eyes. Anyway, let's not worry about that. Let's come back there. Look, it is racism, Bill. No, it is. It's racism, it's malicious intent, and it is divide and rule all the way. This is what has led us to where we are.
But is it really racism when?
Yes.
So is it really racism when everyone at one point has been called the boogeyman? So do you guys know who Renee Good is? He is. I don't know what he just did.
I've heard the name, I think.
Welcome to Bill. Okay, so I don't know what he just did in his background, but it sounds like a fan or airplane is taking off.
It's been there all the time. It's not new.
Okay, so you changed speakers?
No, I didn't. I've done nothing apart from exactly where I've moved myself a bit further away, and I can turn the fan a bit so it's not where it was. Is that better?
Can you hear it, Christiana?
I can hear. No, yes.
What can you hear?
I can't hear it. Can you hear it? I can't hear it.
It sounds like an airplane.
What is that noise? It sounds like a interference.
Where?
Yeah, like they're tapping into us, which would be great.
It surprised me.
You know?
Yeah, I like that.
All of a sudden I get a knock at my door. But think about Renee Good. So Renee Good got shot in the face by an ICE agent. She was a white woman, and she was driving from school, or dropping her kids off from school and driving home, and she didn't run into, I'm sorry, but she was surrounded by ICE agents. She was like, I'm not mad at you, and she was turning her car away, and she was trying to drive off, and they shot her in the face. And then what they said was, instead of I'm sorry, that she was trying to run them over, and she was married to a woman. So that meant that she had a mental disorder. So now, as I say to everybody, the boogeyman is whoever fits the narrative in that moment. I don't hear anything now.
Okay. Maybe it's not racism, but it's not ism. Sexism.
It is, yeah.
It's an ism. Whichever one. There's always you find the one that fits the bill. Pardon the pun.
The one that you don't understand. I told you guys last week. I don't understand. I'll use a celebrity. So I don't understand Caitlyn Jenner that used to be Bruce Jenner, because Caitlyn Jenner became a woman and then is dating a woman. So she's a lesbian. I'm so confused. But you know what? It's not up to me to understand somebody else's life. It is up to me to say, Caitlin, why are you supporting this administration that does not support you? And you are lucky because you're privileged. Because Caitlin got stuck. I don't know if you guys heard this, because they changed her passport back to a man. And she said, oh, you know, I just reached out to Donald Trump and said that there was an error. Okay, Caitlin, that's your billionaire status, right? That's your money talking. But think about all the other people that are in your group that you're voting against. You're by voting for him, you're voting against yourself. And then when it happened to you, you got surprised. You're shocked. How dare they? But you have the president's phone number.
And you can use it.
And you can use it. So there's this system that says, I don't care, because what people are talking about, they're not speaking about me. I'm one of the good ones. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that one before. You haven't heard that?
No, I think that it's a common feeling we get when we see what you describe in your book happening, which is someone else, another group being denigrated, another group being put down, another group being pushed down and held down. You know, we think, oh, you know, let me give you an example. For me, you know, here it was, okay, we're going to ban people smoking cigarettes. Yeah, that's the answer. We're going to ban under 18 smoking cigarettes ever in their lifetime. Like, why would you do that? Everyone's like, yay, I hate smokers anyway. And then they say, right, okay, well done. We've done that now. Now we're going to ban social media for kids. And everyone's like, oh, I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll take it. Right? So they're bringing this thing that affects people. And there's always, you know, most people will say, yeah, it doesn't affect me on day one. Not realizing by the time we get to day 5, it's going to affect you. You know, you're going to be
they'll find something else to get you.
Yeah, they're coming for all of us with this dumb rule that you're having, right? That's the reality of our lives. See, Bill's book is too serious. It's very serious. No, it's very serious. Mr. America, I have to welcome you. I've tried. The tour has started, right? Linda in Canada, I appreciate you, of course. Thank you for joining us. There's a question for you, Bill. I think it's for you. It might be what we were talking about earlier. Spam.
Spam.
Pull out for what it is, but no, we'll get to it in a second. I do want to say hi.
If you really, really read the book from beginning to end and finish it, it gives you perspective, and it makes you question things. And that's the beauty of, if someone says, what are you proudest of? It's that people have told me that it made them think, and that it told stories they had never heard before, because it doesn't, it's not a slavery book. It's not like, oh, nobody. It's not. It's a book of resilience, and then it shows you, if any would play that clip that Christy gave. then it shows you how every time it was destroyed. And then volume 2 is my favorite. I was concerned about volume 1 because volume 1, it lays the foundation, and you really do need to read volume 1. Volume 2 opens up, and you can see things in action. So the Bogeyman Was Built is volume 1. So it tells you how it was built. Volume 2 is the machine. So it says, okay, it's built. Now the machine is just running on its own. And you see it in everyday scenarios. You know, you get to hear about Janet Jackson. I'm going to say that forever. She's my favorite. Whoop, whoop. It was her that was doing the noise. Now I don't hear it no more.
It's a conspiracy, Bill. It's a conspiracy. You know, what's with Janet Jackson that so upsets your spirit?
Well, it's in volume 2. I can't say it, but it's in volume 2, and you'll get it when you read it. And I'll try to get you a copy of it, because hopefully I'll make some money from volume 1, and I can start sending out samples of volume 2.
Well, I think, you know, you have to speak your message in the end. I think you do anyway. That's my personal understanding. I could be wrong, but I think, you know, you have to be willing to stand up and take your message to the world.
Absolutely, and you need to understand that there's some roads that you're going to travel that are going to be hard, and people are not going to like it, but it's not anything that is hateful. I would say the book is full of interesting things that make you reevaluate why certain statements are made on a regular basis. You know, I asked you, do you know what one of the good ones mean? You said you didn't know what it meant, or you kind of did. Christiana, do you know what one of the good ones mean?
See, now she's back. You know she's back. I know she's back, but I can't see her yet. Christiana, what is one of the good ones? Is that a program?
I can't hear her.
Christiana, yes. No, you're kind of muted. You know, she's gonna cuss now because she's not muted. She's gonna be like, "Why can't you hear me? Damn, I'm talking. Nothing's changed. My computer is Watch. I'll wait patiently." She's looking at it thinking, "Well, what can I do? Who can I blame? Computer, do something. Try again, Christiana. Try speaking." No, we lost the battle. We have to go and leave and come back again, I think. No, of course we can't hear you. If we could hear you, then I'll stop talking, wouldn't I? So I told you guys.
All right, so listen to my story, Christiana. So when at one point my stepmom owned a building, and my sister and I took an apartment in the building, and there was a lady that was renting, and she was a white woman that was going off about Black people. And I said, "Well, you know that we're Black, right?" And she said, "Yeah, but you're one of the good ones." And she thought that was a compliment. Like, literally, she thought that was a compliment. And I thought to myself, my uncle is a partner in one of the, of Arthur Anderson. I don't know if you guys remember them. But he was a partner, like a partner. My aunt's husband was the EVP for Liberty Mutual. Oh no, Equitable Insurance. It was called Equitable Insurance at the time. It was a big insurance company. He was the EVP of marketing. My cousin right now is a CFO at Disney, and he's married to a doctor. And I'm just trying to figure out who are the good ones. Just like I'm trying to figure out what are Black jobs.
What's a Black job? I don't know what Black jobs are.
When you look at who we are, who women are, who Hispanics are, who Black people are, who the what's it called, the LGBTQ community. We need to embrace everybody
We do.
And embrace them for who they are, because it's like a bland soup. Like it's like boiling a chicken in water and not having any seasoning. That's just nasty. So you know, the purpose is for you not to say, oh, I don't see race or I don't see color. Okay, first of all, that's disrespectful, because I want you to honor the diversity and the beauty in the heritage of each and every one of us, because all of us bring something unique to this universe, to this world. And saying, I don't see that, says, I don't see you. And I can see that Christiana and Annie are Black people.
Yeah.
You know, I could say, because I don't want to say I can see that you guys are African, you know, but getting to know you, I understand that you're from Nigeria. But if I don't see you and love you for who you are, and I say, then I'm not seeing you. I'm saying that your history and your heritage are not important unless it suits me.
Yeah, no, again, I can understand. I can understand that, and I guess the way we hear it more often than not is, "I've got a Black friend. I've got a Black friend."
Right?
Even though I'm being absolutely rude, racist, abusive, insulting, and the many other words I could use, you know, having a Black friend, they're one of the good ones, as you describe them, Bill. You know, the rest of us are not. You know,
right?
And yeah, it's part of the course. Now, this is the life we live. You know, it's again, maybe the only here's a thought that's going to come across my mind. Yes. Would you get the boogeyman in Africa?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because
and everywhere in the world, really.
Yes. Because it's really, oh my God. All right. So I need to take a bio break.
Yeah, you do that, my friend.
And come right back. Christiana, you need to be able to talk so that Annie ain't sitting here singing to himself. But I have to remember remember where we left off, because I'm going to forget, because I'm 100 years old.
The boogeyman in Africa. Right. That's where we left it. Christiana, should I call you on WhatsApp?
All right, I'm not wearing any pants, anybody, so sorry.
I tell you, I'm going to turn Bill's camera off. What's happened to your camera, Christiana? What's happened to your sound, Christiana? Christiana? What could have happened to your sound?
I have to reboot the whole system.
Okay, reboot your system then. Right. Okay, reboot your system is what I would say.
I can't turn my left side. I'm probably agony as we speak.
Why are you in agony?
My neck is really painful. I'm not able to turn on stage. I'm just like painful here, painful there.
Why?
I don't know. But I was gonna say something to see when Bill comes back.
Okay.
And then we talk to the one of the good ones. It's almost that romantic compliment. And it will tell you. And if you remember, I was called a exotic thing for almost 2 years in my previous legal environment.
That was a compliment. I make myself laugh. Right. I'm looking for Bill's video.
Oh.
Christy, do you know where it is? I don't know. I found the link to the book, but I can't see the link to Bill's videos. Yeah. Okay. Right. Watch live and past broadcasts, daily clips, and quick hits. Yeah, but that's UBU live though. I want Bill. I'm looking at your I'm looking at your website, but I can't see which video you want me to play. Like,
no, right, it's the one that the video I wanted you to play was the one Christy put into the chat.
So
why would it be on my website?
I think that link goes to your. So I'm on your website, so to speak.
No. I'll show you which one.
Right, Chris's link goes to your
this video. Oh, it does go to my. Hold on.
Yeah, that's why I'm a bit confused.
Yeah, I think it's the wrong link.
Okay, Christiana, just restart your computer and come back.
I'll find it and I'll she left.
No.
What's the biggest bankruptcy?
She's on my WhatsApp.
What's the? Oh.
Yeah.
What's the biggest bankruptcy myth people still believe? I don't think.
Is Adam one of your friends? Do you know who Adam is?
Adam might follow me on YouTube. I mean, I don't know personally.
Anyway,
here it is.
Go.
There's the post. Chrissy just put it in the bottom.
Okay. So I'll go to that. Right. So please do share with us what is how does your book and your Bogeyman exist in Africa and in other everywhere in the world, literally.
Okay, so it doesn't. So she put in 2 links. What you want to go to is you want to go to the LinkedIn link, because the other one is LinkedIn post by William Rochelle. Yeah, go to the first one.
Okay.
I don't know if you can share your screen or not.
It's shared the Google is Bill's website, right?
No. The last message that she sent. Go all the way down. It's a real big long block. It says Stephen Miller in it.
You see, I can see it on Restream, but not on LinkedIn, which is really weird. Christy, send it to my DM, please. This is getting really annoying. But I'm not gonna get annoyed. I'm gonna just keep laughing.
No, I'll send it to your DM.
Okay. Send it to my saying I can see it on here, but I just can't see it. Christiana, you're back. Christiana, you're back. Yes, okay. Right, Bill. I think the Bogeyman exists everywhere in the world.
So the reason why I got so excited is because you asked, can it exist?
Yes.
And you also asked what my process is. So I have, let me find you real quick, Annie. I have I have 2 other books that will probably be released in 2027. Right now it's 2026. And
Bogeyman books or different books?
No, they're different books. And they are called, so one has a working title, Before They Were Savages. And the second one is When She Ruled the World. And they will come out at the same time. And what it talks about is how each continent, every single continent, had their kings and their queens, and they had rich minerals and jewels and oil and things that they had for themselves, and they're now considered third world countries because people have come in there. And then they say, why are the people over here so poor? Because someone came, took every resource from that country, used the people to mine it, took the kings and queens and killed them, and then taught everybody there that there's a caste system here. So you're either over here, or you're a worker, and you don't get education, and you don't get anything. So I'm going to do the same thing in Africa, that same machine, right? But we're going to divide you. And so the wealthy, or the people that aren't in, don't have to go mine diamonds in the land, they are telling their children, don't associate with the ones over here. So that caste system is created, and people in Nigeria, and I'm just doing this straight off of, how do you write? Because I listen to what people fucking say. Christiana was saying her grandfather could not speak his in language. He had to speak English or be beaten. So yes, in Africa, there can be a boogeyman. But that boogeyman was created by the same machine. See, the boogeyman was never about race. It was about, if you understand how it was developed, it was to prevent the communities from rising up.
That's one.
Yeah. And think about this. You talk about the richest continent in the world, and then people say, why is it underdeveloped? It's not because of a lack of knowledge. It's because people took the resources. Think about if you own the diamond mines. Just think about that. And that continent was able to take its resources and put it back into their people. And so if we look at every single continent, and that's why it's called, before they were called savages, who's the real savage? Because you did not take a ship and sail over to the United Kingdom and then say, I now own it because I discovered it. You didn't kill people and say, this land is mine. It's like walking into someone's house and saying it belongs to you because you like it. Like, that make sense. So, the word savage is used to describe people. The word third world country is used to describe underdeveloped nations or countries or islands after they were colonized and then used. And then once they recognized that there was no real value there anymore, because they took it all, and then the people were left with nothing. So the reason why those two books, so this is in my mind, because I don't know if I can do it or not. Well, I can do anything, but I have a lot of things on my plate right now. But the reason why I want those two books to come out at the same time is, then if they come out at the same time, the women get to hear how they had power. They get to understand how their life was stripped from the Bible. The book of Mary, the book of Phoebe, the book of Darlisha, I don't know. But there were all these books where women, according to the Bible, if that's the book that you're reading, that took out the women that were in power. And that was intentional because it was against what the council in Rome wanted. And so those books, just like this book, was intended to help certain people understand their value before they were savages, and when she ruled the world, are two books that are telling communities where you come from. And then the ships arrive. And so that would be the third book. And we go through what happened once the ships arrived. So it's talking about the beauty that was there. It's telling women that they can do anything that they want, that you are supposed to rule the world. You're supposed to have a voice. You're supposed to be able to make choices for yourself.
Yeah, I can understand that. Let's watch your Stephen Miller video. The new Bogeyman that Republicans have created is what I understand is titled as, right?
Probably. Let's go. Let's see it.
That's you. It's a new window, I think. Yep. No, it's not that. That's yesterday's show. Where are we? Current tab. Which one is yours? It's not that one. I've got too many tabs open, Bill. That's my problem, right?
That's one of his problems.
It's one of these ones, isn't it? Yeah, it's more likely this. Let's see. Yeah, it is. I think. Yeah, it is the one. Okay. Come alive. Here goes. Where's the volume of this thing?
I think you have to unmute your tab or share the audio.
Having babies in America.
Are we banning pregnant women from America? Are we banning foreign pregnant women?
Is this a joke to Republicans? Keep listening.
Well, what I'm saying, Jesse, is that you have to now think very... Are we banning pregnant women from America? Are we banning foreign pregnant women?
Is this a joke to Republicans? Keep listening.
Well, what I'm saying, Jesse, is that you have to now think very carefully about who you let into your country, even on a temporary basis.
Pregnant women. They're scared of pregnant women having babies in America.
Are we banning pregnant women from America? Are we banning foreign pregnant women?
Is this a joke to Republicans? Keep listening.
Well, what I'm saying, Jesse, is that you have to now think very carefully about who you let into your country, even on a temporary basis.
Pregnant women. They're scared of pregnant women having babies in America.
Are we banning pregnant women from America? Are we banning foreign pregnant women?
Is this a joke to Republicans? Keep listening.
Well, what I'm saying, Jesse.
So that's it's very interesting, and it just happened to have the Boogeyman title in it, but it's whoever.
I'm trying to stop it now.
Okay.
Stop. Okay. Why is that so plain? Ew, what's going on? Another Facebook tab. Okay, less of that. See, I've killed you now. There you go. There you go.
All right.
Right. I suppose I saw the news the other day where they're talking about the people come to have baby, who give birth in America, their children won't have natural birthrights or citizenship. Is that what that's referring to?
They're now they want to not allow women to come to America that are pregnant.
But for the reason I just said, that they don't want them to have citizenship.
Right. Absolutely. But let's understand one thing, and this is why I say the boogeyman is created. And this is not just about one person, but Barron Trump is Melania Trump's son. She's an immigrant that came here and brought her parents here because of her status. But technically, based on what they're saying, Barron Trump should not have citizenship. But of course he will. I mean, of course he will.
He does. He does. You know, that's the thing. He does. You know, because the rules are different in those days.
Yeah. But they're trying to roll things back. You know, they're trying to say that the birthright citizenship was only intended for black slaves, so that they can be naturalized citizens. That's not really accurate. No. America was built on immigrants. People came here fleeing for freedom, and now we have gates around everything. But I know you have some funny topics to talk about. I'm gonna take off this dog collar.
That still makes me laugh. You know, look, my friends. You know, I of course, I know Bill's topic is, you know, it's a huge one. It's important to probably all of us. You know, I love your take on it, Chris. If there's billionaires point at someone and a new problem is invented. Yeah, that's the truth, right? That's the truth. That's how it goes. But as Chris says, it's all in the book, my friends. Go buy the book. The link is on the screen in front of you. In case you miss it, let me share the link again from Amazon. Yeah. Right, Bill. You know, we're gonna start with who's the real Bill? How many Bills are there? You're thinking, what was it talking about now? Has he lost his mind? No, I haven't lost my mind yet. I lost my mind a long time ago, maybe. So that's fine. You know, I tried to find a picture of you on Google. Bill, there's hundreds of pictures. There's hundreds of pictures of you. Hundreds.
Really?
But they're mostly not you.
Okay.
The AI Bill. I don't like doing AI anything. No, so I had to look and find the one that was I think was real. God help me, right?
Yeah, I can find. You know, I don't like taking pictures. So, and I can put myself in any situation for any article I create or anything like that. So it just kind of helps with branding right now. And it's just me, just with a little touch up, a little face pull, a little bit of a tan. You know, my beard is just lined up much better. And if I look down like this, it looks more like the picture. If I look up, it doesn't.
I just want the real you. I just want the real you. I want my friends as they are. I don't know, you know, and I struggle to get my head around.
You see me every day.
Yes. So the other Bill feels like I don't know who that person is.
Which one? Because there's a million different ones.
Right. I'm saying that. But this is not just about you. This is about I see people doing this every day, and it gives me a headache. It gives me a proper. What are they playing at? Headache. You know, I don't understand. Yeah. Anyway, so obviously you created content, loads of content with your other photos, right?
Yes.
And then I only get to see what I get to see. Miss Marsha, I see you on LinkedIn. I can't see you on my restream. I don't know what's going on there. I don't get that.
I'm heading on YouTube to watch you on TV. Yes.
Yes.
That's actually way easier. I prefer that at home to watch on the big screen, so I don't have to hold something up for hours.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Yeah. So this is we're at our.
No, we're way past what I had in mind for you.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah. So
our friends are still here. Our friends are still.
All this stuff has to come up.
Yes.
You know, there's several different facets, and I believe most people are multifaceted. When I did the book launch on my birthday, a lot of people summed it up really well. I never allowed my personal life and my professional life intertwined. And so in my professional life, I'm easygoing. I'm door wide open. Come talk to me about anything. And you can even yell at me if I made a wrong, if you think I made a wrong decision. You can't you can't cuss me out, but you can stand your ground and I'll respect you for it. But if it's behind closed doors, you know, if I did something and you work for me and you feel slighted, don't do it in front of everybody, because then you're forcing me to shut it down.
Yeah.
But if you have a real issue, don't talk about it on the floor, because people on the floor can't do anything for you. Come into my office, shut the door, and say, look, we need to talk because I'm feeling like X, Y, and Z. And I will intentionally listen to everything that you said, not to dismantle it, but to try to understand what's going on. And if you listen with intention, you can understand whether like someone just broke up with their wife, or you know, or if it's a real issue and I'm a jerk and I have not been noticing that I don't say hi to certain people when I walk in the morning. So I have a very clear policy of being transparent with my team, as transparent as I can be. But don't put me in a situation where I have to diffuse you publicly, because I don't want everyone on the floor to think that this is okay.
Yeah. Rightly so.
Yeah, but take me behind closed doors and you can say, what the hell? You know, we're going in 3 different directions. I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, because you gave us this direction, then you told Janet to do it. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I forget. I forget the power that I have. So it's very, very strange. But I forget that I'm like, if I'm sitting there having coffee or getting coffee in the break room, and Janet walks in and she's like, I really think that we should try this. I'm like, I think we should too. That Janet's going to stop doing her own work that her manager gave her and say, well, Bill said this was a great idea. And, Fernando comes in and says, you should have run that by me.
Are you still there? Where's Bill gone? Is it Bill or is it me? It could be me.
Who is you?
Could be Bill. Is it me?
I'm here.
Oh, it's Bill. We lost Bill for a second there. Olivia, I thank you. Thanks for joining us. So right. Go on, please carry on, Bill.
The other part is the wild me, right? And
is it wild Bill?
Not as much anymore. Not as much anymore. And that's simply because I'm tired. I'm older. But the wild me is the person that is daring and will jump on a jet ski and like flip it backwards and then land back on the water, you know, do like a big old spin. And people are like, oh my God, how are you doing that? And then fall off, you know, the jet ski. And then Wild Me starts screaming in the middle of the water because I am afraid of Jaws. So so once I'm in the water, I'm like, oh my God. I was in I think it was either Turks and Caicos or Aruba, but we had done a excursion to a coral reef. And while I was out there, I had swam far enough away from the boat, you know, and you just have the snorkel. Yeah. And I lost my fin. My it's not a fin. I lost my scuba. One of the flippers fell off, and it just went to the bottom of the ocean. And the people on the boat said they could hear me scream through the thing, because I immediately thought that Jaws was going to think that I was an injured seal. And why was I so fucking far away from the boat? Because I couldn't get back there fast enough. I was just like, I only got one flipper. He's gonna think I'm injured. You know, they come for the least, the least healthy. So I do things that I'm afraid of, which is good, which is great. And you know what? That's our parents' fault, because there's no reason why a 5-year-old should have gone to see Jaws. Like, that didn't make any sense. Jaws terrorized. I was afraid to go in a swimming pool or a bathtub, any water. Like, I was just like insane, and I still have that fear. And I will, you know, dance on the table. I will lead the conga line. You know, I'm that guy. But then I also get when I go on like dinners with the staff, and they say, "Oh my God, you're so different from outside of the workplace," because I'm extremely introverted. And I'm more of an observer of people when I'm out and about, especially with my team. You know, you're having fun, but you always have to remember that you're still at work. You're still, those people still need to say, I respect you. So you can't be dancing the table with them.
I don't know.
There was a time, and I'll never forget this. So I worked at Teleflor, and again, it's a $1 billion company. And man, I was good looking. I was really good looking.
Even if you do say so yourself.
If I do say so myself. And I have always loved Janet Jackson. And her song came on, and I had been drinking, but we had invited, it was called, I can't remember what the membership was called, but basically, let's say it was platinum members. So Teleflora was fly in their top selling florist for a retreat in Los Angeles. And we would kind of host them and have parties and dinners. And so I was at a party. And so Janet Jackson's song If came on. And I'm dancing with Jeanette Pruitt. And in the song, Janet Jackson says, imagine my body undressed, take your time. And I ripped my shirt open. All the buttons flew. Because I knew the song, right? So I knew she was gonna say, imagine my body undressed. And I'm like, oh, I'm just hot. And so I was like, imagine my body undressed. And Jeanette took my shirt and she grabbed it and she said, you're still at work. And I'll never forget that, because I was in my 20s, and I held a position that allowed me to fraternize with the top people within the company. But when you're in your 20s, no one tells you the guidelines. You're just kind of like winging it. You know, I didn't have someone say, all right, just because everyone here is drunk, you're supposed to be the person that is making sure everyone's okay. And you can't be sitting there taking your shirt off because you done drank too much, because that was my party life. That was, you know, Bill after dark. But at work and at work functions, I in that moment, I recognized for the first time ever that people will remember a moment, and that moment will stay with you forever. And you're only as good as the last thing that you did.
Yes, the last big boo-boo anyway. You know,
either way, you know, cancel culture is big. So I have been lucky to have people that really, really always had my back, because they understood that I needed to be coached. And I think because of that, I'm always coaching the next person behind me. And people will always ask me, why aren't you a coach? Because everyone could put coach on their name. I'm a mentor. I'm someone that says, I see potential in you, and let me help guide you, and you'll get to the next level. But I've never thought of that as a skill. It's just inherently who I am.
Well, it's a skill, of course.
Absolutely.
You know, and supporting the next generation takes patience. It takes all sorts of understandings, knowledge, and things that you can do. You know, Joe, thank you for joining us. I say Olivia was the last one, and you linked on the LinkedIn comments. Trying to bring an expert like Bill to the show. This has been valuable from start to finish. We haven't quite finished yet. You know, thank you for. I appreciate everyone who gives us their time. Our times tend to run over. But Marsha's shown up. Yay! Excellent. I mean, Chrissy, hopefully I showed the right video. And I said, well, do go and buy The Bogeyman Was Built. ... There's 3 books, different subheadings, subtitles, all of them. So, no, but start with the first one. That's why I say. When the second one coming, Bill? When is the second one going to be out?
It's August 18th and then September 9th.
Okay. Any reason for those dates? It's just how you want, like, why those particular dates?
It was volume 1 was finished by my birthday, so I just put it up, and then volume 2 was finished around June 30th, because I'd already finished volume 1. And then volume 3 was still in the works. I was finalizing it. So 1 was done, 1 was almost done, and then 1 was 90% done. And so I just uploaded them, and then I was just thinking, all right, give this 30 days to breathe. And then based on my flywheel concept, when the other one comes out, it's not starting from ground zero.
Yeah. Well,
so it makes sense to me.
Yeah, well, it's a brave man that launches 3 books pretty close together for the very reason you just said. You need to give each one the chance to breathe. You know, alas, I say that whilst knowing that if you can publish a series, you have a lot more flexibility than people who publish 1 book. As you've done, you've done the giveaways, you've done the, breaking down the content into different conversations rather than having one conversation about a book that's 1,000 pages long. Now, but my friends, do go read the book. But of course, part of what you're talking about is what kept you awake last night, Bill, why you're so tired today. What was that?
So I had a meltdown at midnight. And what I found, so I'm working on a men's mental health group book, and for me, everything was done, and I thought it would be easy because I write every day.
Yeah.
So during the time period that Martha was having me do all the GoFundMe's and stuff, I was journaling every day. And that was 13,000 words. 10 different days in my life. And in those days, it was kind of ebbs and flowing because I was up and I was down, and then Martha came and things kind of started to shift. And there was a moment where I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I mean, it was really, really intense. It was an intense 10 days. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to take that. And then I had already written articles about the fact of my early years, which I don't talk about. And so I'd already written that. And so I'm like, okay, so now all I have to do is like combine these two things and then kind of fill in the middle, because this is good and this is good.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as easy as I thought, because you need to make them flow. Yeah. And you need to make a through line.
Yeah.
And then
consistency, relevance, everything has to work together, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the reason why it's important to put the childhood part in there is because then you understand why I was reacting the way I was reacting. Because I've had 5 falls in my life. And it started at the age of 12. And I had to rebuild everything from 16 with no help, no support, no parents, me sleeping in a car. And I managed to create some magnificent milestones, but through no fault of my own. The first time the IRS came and got me, because when you're a teenage runaway, don't nobody tell you you're supposed to like do your taxes every year and that you can get money back. Like, you just out there freeballing, it's like, okay,
So I think all you're trying to do is survive, and never mind anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I didn't know these things, and it's not that I was stupid. I was uneducated. I started making great money through Teleflora. I had a really good trajectory, and the money shifted, but it was a difference between me making at the time, $30,000 a year and then going to $90,000 a year. And so, $30,000 a year in Los Angeles isn't anything.
Yeah.
And this was a few years ago. I'm only 35, so maybe it was 5 or 6 years ago. But then when I started making, so what I had done was I had claimed like no exemption, because it was such little money that I figured I'd get it back, and why pay why what's going to happen. But then I kept getting raises, and then the IRS, because you don't file, they just do assumptions.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. Again, this is just basic education. I didn't know that you can negotiate and that you can refile for all the 10 years. I just said, okay, you're telling me I owe you $1 million. All right. But what happened, I put it in the chapter. And then, so that one was basically my fault. But I don't know if you can blame someone for not understanding something. Oh, let's say ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So yeah. But then, I built up this I'm going to call it a dynasty, but it was great. You know, it was first class flights and uh, a driver, and you know, when I got to work, there was a croissant and coffee on my on my desk. It was both were hot because my assistant knew exactly what time I'd be in, and I quit and moved to Dallas because it was the fastest growing internet site in the world. And I moved in October 2007, and the market crashed in June of 2008.
A year later.
No, 7 months later. And I had moved, I bought a house, I had furnished the house, like I spent like $100,000 in furniture, just so I can make it comfortable, because I had this $5 million like buyout, and there was no way this wasn't going to win. But people stopped investing. And I don't know if you remember that time period, but they were asking executive level people to take pay cuts and stop flying on private planes and stuff like that. It was all over.
Yeah, things were hard. Things were hard for everyone.
Yeah, and I lost a house. I lost 2 BMWs. I lost my dignity. Anyway, all that said, I was writing the book, and I found it harder to write when there are other people that are depending on me to deliver. When I released the Boogeyman, like I just told you, I didn't do I didn't think about the next step. I didn't think about anything except for, I'm going to put it out there, and who it's going to serve, it's going to serve. But now I'm thinking, okay, I have, 10 other people, and I don't want to, I don't want to underdeliver. And when I'm doing something that's just because I want to do it, it's easier for me.
Of course.
So at midnight last night, I looked at my final draft and recognized that I hadn't saved anything. Have you ever done that? Like,
yeah.
you're like, wait, this isn't the right one. This is like the 10 chapters that I had, but I had like put all this other stuff in there. I never saved it. So all the stuff that I had done, it was just whittled down to those 10 days. And remember that in an anthology, it's supposed to be 2,500 words or 2,800 words. Well, those 10 days alone were 13,000 words. So, and then I added, the childhood in there, and then I added, the middle section in there, and then I had to consolidate it down, and then I lost everything. So it was frustrating. And
so where did you find the stuff you lost? It's on your computer somewhere, right?
I had so I hate when people say, remember I told you, but I had the 10 chapters that I had written during April. So that was 13,000 words. And then I had already written 20 chapters last year about my childhood. So I already had that stuff that I was going to use, but I had to kind of narrow it down. I'm not going to use all of the 20 chapters, and I'm not going to use all of the 10 chapters, because there were things in there like, oh, my brother called me and I was looking at chicken wings and they were like $8, and how horrible it is. I have to figure out that I only have like $6 in my hand. It was a real detailed overview of what I was experiencing in real time. So I had the skeletons. I always talk to you about the skeletons, right? So I have all these skeletons. It's just putting them together. So I knew which sections I wanted in there. I had to go back to the original file of one, the original file of the other, And then I had to recreate that middle that I had not done.
Yes. No. So this was last night's work. This is what kept you awake last night, right?
It kept me awake because I feel like I'm the last person to submit my
your assignment.
My chapter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like that. I could be wrong about that. And it's still 8,000 words, so I still have to cut it down.
Yeah.
And
to how many words?
I think they went like 2,800, so I'm like 3 times over. But I'm sure that there are things that I can scale back. But in my world, I don't want to tell a watered down version of my story.
Yes.
And in order to really understand it, you just think about how I did the trilogy, right? The beginning, middle, and the end. So my chapter ends with, I launched a book, but it goes through, that 10-day period of when I wanted to out myself. I was like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. This is not living. I'm not embarrassed about it. I believe that more people have those fleeting thoughts than admit it. But I was really, really like, I'm not gonna have a place to live. I'm not gonna have a car. I'm not gonna have lights. I'm not gonna have food. I don't have health care. Like, what am I doing? What am I fighting for?
Yeah, no dog, no cats.
Yeah. Well, I have my dog, but my dog of 17 years died like the first week in January. So all this happened between January and March, and Martha came in April. So just understanding that, and when she came in, what she did, similar to what Christy is doing for me, is she said, I see what you're carrying. Let me take this part off. And so what Christy's doing right now, which I am so thankful for, is she is saying, be a part of this group. She submitted my book to have them publish it and announce it. Are you falling asleep?
No, of course not. I'm looking at you.
Okay. So she's doing. I
know so you would know if I'm asleep. Let that help you.
So she's doing a lot of heavy lifting. She's reminding people, like she's put into the chat. My all the links. Like she understands. Like when I say something, she's like, here it is, and then she's like, did you get me this? And I'm like, not yet, because I had to rewrite a whole chapter last night. And then when I rewrote it, I hated it. And I don't know if you understand that feeling, because I was finally like, okay, this is good. But when you now I feel like it's a Frankenstein. Right? So it's all put back together, but it's not like what I want.
Yes.
And then I still have to cut out 6,000 words. Like, how do I do that? Or 5,000 words. I can't do math.
Harsh. You have to be harsh. I laugh because I sit here and I'm always trying to cut the words down. Words I write, words that my friends write, words that people write. I guess it's also why I have an editor who does editing stuff. Because you can tell the stories without so many words. Well, you're gonna have to, aren't you?
Yeah.
2,800 is not too bad in word counts, to be fair. I think I gave my authors probably 2.5.
Yeah, I think I'm packing 3 or 4 decades into a chapter, but my intent, because it's men, money, and mental health, is to show how low I got, but then how I rose again, and then how low I got, but then how I rose again. And each stage, there's been a force that has guided me through. Yeah. And when I say a force, guys, what I mean by that is when I started working at each company that I worked at and I did really well, I hated working there. I was like resistant to it. I was applying to other jobs and I'm like, why can't I get another job? I need to get the hell out of here. But that was the best thing that ever happened to me, each one of them. And I've been applying to jobs. I've been saying, why ain't I getting nothing? But then, you know what? I'm ready now. And I can say, all right, I know I didn't want to go out on my own, but I can. I have the ability to do it. And the way that ties back to money is because what Martha did was she gave me breathing room.
Yeah.
So that I was out of survival mode and I was into, all right, now that I don't have to think about where I'm going to live tomorrow, I can concentrate on the things that I value.
Yeah.
So
everyone needs a Christy. Everyone needs a Marsha. Really. You know, we need good friends who are genuine friends.
Absolutely. You know? And I want you to say that too, because as I think I shared this with you, but as I've gotten more public, I've recognized this just being a person in the seat of power, and I don't say that lightly. But when you're in that seat of power, people love you because you can do something for them.
Yeah,
you can give them raises, you can put them in a different department, you can fly them around the world. You know, they think that you're fantastic, but when you're no longer in a position of power, then you no longer have a value to them.
Yeah, that doesn't the word. You know, you're irrelevant is the word, right?
Yep.
You're no longer relevant.
And it takes you a minute to figure that out. It takes you a minute because the first time you're just like, oh, no one wants to go to lunch today after, after I moved on to another company. They don't want to have lunch with me because I didn't hold a value to them anymore. I was somewhere else. But then they did come back when they were like, you know what? We appreciated working with you so much more. Do you have any openings? Okay, you're doing it for a reason. Yeah. So the reason why my chapters are they're not bloated because I make sure every word earns its place on the page, but that through line of being dropped 5 times and then seeing that people can make you disposable. It started when I was 12. And it started with every single year, me being thrown out or moved to a different city or sent to a foster home. And my mom saying, what if I don't want him? And imagine a 14-year-old just hearing that. Just hearing that. And then having to figure life out on your own at 16. So every time a financial thing comes into play, I go back to that 16-year-old. I go back to that 14-year-old. And people don't understand, why don't you just sell your house? Because it's the only thing that I have that I can see and that's comfortable and that, I don't want someone to take away from me. I've done this 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but look, selling your house on the answer, I'm sure. So when we'll come to your job search and your creative, the services that you're offering these days, right? It will come to that in a second. You know, maybe now I suddenly have an insight into why what you say resonates with me. Of course, being black is one of those things. You know, there is something about us who grew up in foster care. You know, you will see if you look close enough at myself. Paulette, same story. You know, who else can I think of? And Annie Foster, maybe you don't know who she is, but no, same story. There's quite a few of us who grew up in foster care, and the world never knows. You know, but of course, it gives you a different way of looking at life. You know, I'm sure you know selling your house is not the answer. Finding the solution is the answer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, finding the solution that's really going to, you know, where you can serve and earn, you know, and get valued, you know, as you should is the answer. You know,
absolutely.
They're giving up what you already have, and just making dumb choices is not going to help it. It's not going to help you or anyone else. You know, you have to make the right choices for you, and sometimes it is stick it out as best you can. It is. No, we win, we lose. Is how it is, right? You know,
absolutely, absolutely.
You know, when it comes to your book, I would say this. You know, from where I sit, work out your key message, and then just write to those. When I say write to those, I mean, you know, you know what your messages are, and then take the readers back to those moments when you made those realizations. That's all you really have to write. The rest of it is fluff. Sorry, Bill. And it's important story to you, but in terms of your mission, your task, your assignment.
Yeah. You're right about that. You're right about that.
Top things. If there's 5 of them, then there's 5 of them. But again, if you only have 3 of those key messages, no one's gonna die, right? Only right. Only you know what's not there. You know?
Right, exactly. And what I keep going back, you guys, to the word skeleton, because at some point I am going to do my biography. Yeah. I am going to do that book, but it is a roller coaster ride, and it's you know. 10 days in Bangkok. You know, it's very interesting. I've led a very especially for someone where I came from, and I didn't come from poverty. I came from rejection. There's a difference.
Of course, a huge
there's a huge difference between that. We weren't rich either. I mean, my mom was struggling, but we lived in a great area and we went to good schools, and you know, she just didn't want me, and I understand why, and I'm including that in the chapter because it forms everything else about, you know, I don't go into deep detail, but I skirt through it, and I give just enough so that when I do add bones to this skeleton for my biography, it's already neatly packed, and I just need to kind of work and go deep into it and launch that biography book. But that's not going to be for like another 3 years.
3?
Yeah, I have to be out of it in order for me to do it, because I don't do anything that is not exceptional. I need to be authentic. And yeah. I'm not gonna be searching for a job and release my authentic biography.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, 3 years sounds good, but part of me always thinks we're too young, or prepared to write 2 biographies at least. Which people do.
I write it every day, so I might write it. Let's say there's a difference between writing it and publishing it. Yeah.
Anyway, I think we have many great things that we're going to do before our time is up. So I say it will take 10 years to write. You know, like you say, we have to be real. We have to be truthful. We have to be, give people what they can learn from, right? And that means we have to turn this ship around and be facing the right way. We have to make a difference in this world, impact people's lives, all that stuff. Right. So how are you going to help people these days, Bill? Is the job search still going on?
Is the GoFundMe?
No, the job search. Is the job search still? Are you still looking? Are you still looking for a job?
Absolutely, absolutely. But I'm also looking at fractional work. I'm, if people decide to take me up on my offer to build a website, in the cost, if I got 5 people to do it or 10 people to do it, that would get me through 1 month, right? And if people wanted me to automate their SEO processes, I can do that. So I'm looking at different ways.
Automate the SEO. It mean you're gonna do the SEO?
It means that my YouTube channel is ranked #1 when you Google me, because I did automated SEO in the back end. And so Google knows how to index it. The reason why my website's not coming up is because I just changed my website. And when I changed my website, I stopped and published the book because I was doing too many things at one time. So I started the YouTube flywheel, but never indexed my own site. And so that ranking, the LinkedIn ranking and everything else that was coming up first on Google search, it wasn't happening because I hadn't indexed my new site. So I got the flywheel working, and it is crawling the websites, and it's not doing anything bottish. It's just making sure that it's pulling the information that I'm submitting, my articles, my videos. This will pull to my website. It'll be on there tomorrow or tonight, and that will organically have my YouTube channel go up. It'll organically have my LinkedIn stuff go up because it's now pulling it into one hub.
Cool.
And it's associating it with me.
Yeah, I think our friend Sean Michael called it working clearer. Not smarter, working clearer. When you have clarity, you can do more.
Absolutely.
I was like, that's genius, my friend. That's genius. And I said, but apart from other than that, you're creating these backgrounds. You're making music every day. What other? Of course, I saw your website has a load of stuff that you do. So apart from the website development, how else do you help people? What crazy ideas go through Bill's head every day?
First, I have to stop doing certain things because I look at.
Give me a second. So this reason I'm making you big is funny. You carry on, please. We can still hear you. It's fine.
I want to help everybody, and I forget that I need money, and so a lot of times I'm like, I'll just do that for you, and so now what I'm doing is I'm still going to do the same thing. I don't want to be overpriced. I want to be able to help people build their business, build their website, build their visibility, build their brand awareness, optimize their operation, assist with their ADP payroll processes, their benefit programs, because I have a partnership with ADP, and all of that stuff. If everything kicks in, I don't need to find a traditional employment. I need to find clients, and I've successfully built multiple companies that were emerging growth that have gone from $0 to 250 million. I worked for $1 billion company and launched their first website, their first ever website, and that rolled out to 30,000 members, and we offered it as a service, membership based. And I've built call centers and customer experiences in 3 different nations. So that's Beverly Hills, Provo, Utah, Sri Lanka, and Israel. Was that 4? And then just for shits and giggles, I created a travel and events department that added several $1 million a year to the bottom line of the company. Just because I was like, you know what, this is a great idea, let's do it. So I walk into companies and I have an eye for talent and I have an eye for operations. I can tell you exactly what to tackle first within about a couple of days to a week. But it takes you time to really understand a business and their core challenges, because a lot of times the person sitting at the top doesn't really understand what the core challenges are because they never sit with the person at the bottom. So I always start aligning myself with the people that are doing the work to understand where they're succeeding and then where time is being wasted and how do we improve efficiency so that the company can scale without having to add more bodies and not having to lay people off, which optimizes profitability. So yeah, I encompass it all. I'm a great singer.
There's a lot of things you do, right? You know, look, there's many things you do, and I think, again, you can't do everything. No one can. You know, I think it's working out what in your list of things really excites you, really makes a difference to your customer's life and business. You know, look, we have to focus now. We have to niche down for a reason. You have to, you need to create a niche.
Do I?
No, you do. Trust
Okay.
me. I know. You know, we know many of us have tried. We've all tried it. We try to do many things at once, right?
Yes.
Right. That's not going to work. You know. You need to focus on where you make the biggest difference. I'm talking to my camera, by the way. You know, this talking to me again, right? So you need to work on where you make the biggest difference. Maybe not the words they were used, where you add the greatest value. You know, what can Bill do that we can't do without Bill? Basically, is the question you need to ask yourself.
I think that's the wrong question, though.
You think so?
Yeah, because every company that I work for and every person that I have elevated, meaning got them to the next level in their career, they say that I always work with an exit plan. So every company I've worked with, except for the company that I owned, I've always worked to develop the team beneath me. And when I left and moved to Dallas, that was after I was featured in Forbes. That was after, you know, people were traveling around with cameras following me and saying, "Oh, you're great." I'm like, okay, it's not going to get any better than this. I'm not going to leave on the bottom. I'm going to leave on top. And I asked the then CEO, if I leave, can Gerardo take my seat? And he said yes, because I had created a growth plan for everyone there, and the only seat that Gerardo could take, I was sitting in. And at that point, it was such a well-oiled machine that I was getting a ton of a crap load of money for things I had previously done. And I left and I took another job because it was building something. It was giving me the opportunity to mold people and to help mentor them. I was creating new systems that were never invented before. I was developing processes that ensured the integrity of the business and the brand, that kept the brand safe, trust and safety. When I went to the e-commerce company, I bought that, but I started off as an employee. And what attracted me about that was it was e-commerce. It was new. There were no systems available yet. It was a team that the guy handed me a list and said, here's what I think about everybody. And I put that list in my desk drawer. And he came back 2 weeks later and said, so now that you've been here 2 weeks, what do you think about my list? And I said, oh, I haven't read it. And he said, why haven't you read it? And I said, because your list would influence what I thought about the team. That's how you see them, through what you've been told, versus me working directly with them. And here are the actual strengths and weaknesses. And at first he was like kind of upset, like, how could you not take I gave you, I worked and said, this person's terrible and this person's good and this person's, but you'd never worked with them. You come in and sign checks for 2 hours a week, and then you leave and someone else tells you their opinion on someone else. So you walk in with a bias. I don't want to walk in with a bias. And so what excites me is the idea of unifying, breaking down silos, unifying teams, making the business run better. I was able to cut the staff in half, build more revenue, increase our customer satisfaction score to 98% across all channels, Amazon, eBay, Walmart, just everything out there. And then once I took over and was able to do it on my own, I grew by $7 million in 1 year. And the only difference was I was no longer chained. I no longer had to ask permission. You know, the owners had one concept, and it was limited. It was take the money and run. E-commerce isn't going to be here for a while. I'm like, no, you need to build a brand, and you need to stop chasing other people's brands and create your own footprint. So when people are like, you need to figure out one area, because I've owned all the operation, because most of the time, like I said, the founder would come in once a week for 2 hours. Everything else was under my control. Every inch of that company, from the FedEx contract negotiation to moving a $250 million company 3 times. 3 times. That is TI investments. That is TI dollars. That is trying to figure out how to move an entire unit without any downtime. That's me saying we need to use Israel for our after-hour support because they speak English, and then we don't burn out our team in Beverly Hills paying for like 3 shifts. Why do we have 3 shifts? Because we were growing so fast that we could not keep up with the incoming if we only had 1 shift. So when someone left at 2:30, someone came and took their desk at 2:30. It was out of necessity until I talked them into, hey, we've been doing this for too long. We need a bigger space.
Yeah.
Then I said we need a wing just for my departments. Then we built out a quality assurance team for the development department. And with all that said, HR has always been under me. The benefits, the payroll, and not only has it been under me, but I know how to process payroll. You don't know this, but it's in the book. But I know how I understood how to process payroll through TriNet, through direct access, through QuickBooks, through ADP. I understand how to get benefits direct, and then the benefit of getting benefits through an ADP or a TriNet PEO, because you get cheaper rates because they're bundled under each other. Teleflora was a place where, they're like a $4 billion company. So they had enough on their own where they can negotiate the rate same as ADP. But if you're a small business growing, you want to attract the best of the best. So you need to have benefits that compete with Apple, right? You need to have benefits.
That's only if you can afford them, Bill.
Right, and that's the beauty of ADP and TriNet and a PEO, because they put you under their umbrella. So you're not going out there getting benefits as a 50-person company. You're getting benefits as a 5,000-person company, because ADP and TriNet, they put you under their umbrella, and so you get the rates of their company. So it's longer. It's a longer conversation than what we want to get into. But
I agree. Look, come back a bit. Felipe is where I am. Right? It's a very simple question. What's the area that you want to be known for, and that you do well, and that you enjoy? That when we say niche, we're not saying just do one thing. We're saying be very clear. This is what I do. This is the results you're going to get. And meanwhile, you can do it almost, with little, not with little effort, but you can do it and deliver the results.
Right. So, and I'm going to say the same thing. My passion is building.
Right.
My passion is working myself out of a job. My passion is getting your current team up to my level so that you guys can thrive without having the overhead of having me. My passion is taking a team that is dysfunctional and creating a unified organization that all feel like they're working towards the same agenda. My passion is mentoring. So it's not e-commerce, it's not healthcare, it's not, I don't want to be an HR person. I've had all those departments, but I don't want to be in that. I don't want to be I understand logistics. I will tape up a box, and I understand how to look at the FedEx rates and the gas rates, and understand how to factor that into our pricing to make sure that we're a bestseller on Amazon. I know how to build the products on Amazon. I've done everything, and I've been recognized for it. So I really believe that the direction I'm going in, which is a fractional employee that gives a week to like 2 or 3 different companies, goes in, goes out, builds a plan, helps mentor their team, ensure that they get things on the right track, show them where they're bloated, in a non-biased way, and really understanding that I am not going to commit if I cannot add a value. Right. So whenever I take on something, I understand that you're paying a premium to get me, so I need to make sure that that premium has a return on investment.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to, right? Especially what starts in the way where we are. For the small firm, you're gonna have to earn the money for me to pay you, basically. And too many people don't earn the money. That's why we don't pay them.
Right.
Really.
See, and Felipe's trying to get me to say an industry.
Yes.
The problem with the industry is that with every company I've been a part of, the industry was never there.
What do you mean?
So I'll say this again. Teleflora, I launched their first web hosting department. Mm-hmm. That was when email first came out. That was when no one was using a website.
Yeah.
So when I launched the first web hosting department, there was no blueprint. It was a flower delivery service that said, we want to stop phone calls from coming in. There's this thing called the interweb. And how do we get our 40,000 members to sign up as a membership base, choose a website, off of these templates and then brand it as Teleflora. There was no roadmap for that. When I went to Spark Networks, who owns 30 different online dating sites, there was nobody dating online. People were like, do people do that? I created the blueprint. And it was so successful that the article in Forbes says the departments that I created were the key differentiator between our brand and everybody else's. When I went to Plano, that was a video sharing social network in 2007. The iPhone came out in 2006. What's a video sharing social network? It's TikTok. It's
YouTube.
It's all of that. But this one was geared to a very specific niche. It was geared towards the Christian community. It was the fastest growing internet site in that moment. They were 4 weeks behind in their operational output. They had 80 people spread out all over the world. I got rid of all the 80 people. I brought everybody in. We got to a 24-hour turnaround, then to a 2-hour turnaround within 3 weeks. And I had to go in and make the people understand that I was not a threat. Because Senator Barnes, who now quotes me, says he remembers the day that I said, either you're managing your desk or your desk is managing you. And he said, but this is how we always do it. And I said, just trust me on this. Because you have to calm people down because they think that you're coming in to take their job and you're not. That's why I say I'm coming in to work myself out. The only problem with working myself out is when it's happened when I didn't want to do it. But even in Plano, there's a guy named Alex Vasquez that left. No, seriously, he left Beverly Hills because I was working in Beverly Hills. I moved to Plano, and he said, "You have done so much to elevate my career. I want to work with you." And him and his wife moved to Plano, and he worked with me. He was my right hand. When the company ran out of money and they said they needed to lay people off, and he was in the bucket, I said, Alex can do my job. Alex has my roadmap. So, and he costs less. So I was more concerned about the success of the company than my own survival. When I left the other company, remember, I went to Adam Berger and said, if I leave, will Gerardo sit in my seat? Because that's what I built for him. That's what I promised him. That's the goal we've been working towards. So I don't create a kingdom where only I, where it's reliant on me. I create and teach people how to fish.
Yeah, I think we get that. We're getting. I wasn't laughing because Felipe can see where I'm trying to go with this. I'll get to
I know where you're both trying to go with it.
Yes,
but it's I always move forward.
Clarity.
And so I am not going into healthcare. I'm not going into finance. Why? Because those two things I don't care about.
Okay, so
I don't care about.
Two are out.
Yeah, two are out. But right now, what's going on? People are looking for automation. They're looking to automate their agents. I'm certified in Google on how to create agents. So I would love to do that. I've successfully built a brand on YouTube and have now successfully created an automation behind it that is constantly ensuring that my videos go viral. Like I told you earlier, when I think I'm streaming to YouTube right now, in 24 hours, this will have a totally different, totally different title on it. And I'm not doing that. That's my system. You know, I built she hasn't used it yet, but I redid Jackie's website for her because she's been doing some things behind the scenes for me all the time. And I built the website so it would draw more customers to her. And I'm not doing free websites for everybody, but she's getting the same technology that I have, which is the SEO behind it that can automatically pull everything if she chooses to do so. If she chooses. So I'm not scraping the website. I'm just pulling my data from all the sources. And then I'm indexing it in Google. So what do I want to do? I want to take a small business and make it a thriving brand.
Yay!
You know,
description.
I want to take a small business and make it a thriving brand. I wanted to teach people how to lead, not follow. Because so many people say, well, I'm like, no, you're not like anything. You are Global Media. You know, Global Media is not like anything else out there.
There's a dot in the middle. Never forget the dot.
I Global.Media, yes. And I did make sure that was in the opening.
Look, let me acknowledge Mr. Evans. Thank you so much for joining us, my friend. He says, stop chasing other people's brands, build your own. I agree 100%, my friend. I agree. You know, I think at our age, I think we can. And with what we know, what we've done, we know we can do amazing things. And I'm glad Bill is where we are. You know, walking the road less traveled is not business as usual. Of course, it's not. You know, it's achieving the changes that Bill's talking about, making a real difference, right? You know, but I think everything still comes down to what Felipe is saying in his last comment. I don't know which one, right? But the next one at least. He says, which 5 keywords do you want to be known for? Now, when people search into Google, what do you want them to type into Google to find you? And when they do, what's going to come up?
So give it a week and it will change. And I'm trying to get to my website.
Okay.
And the reason why I said give it a week and it will change because everything will start populating under my name. But leadership, personal growth, author journey, healing, and then William Rochelle. And the first thing is leadership, because I've excelled at one thing that a lot of people cannot do. I lead up and down. And what that means is that I lead the CEO. I tell him what he needs to do in order to build a better brand. And then I lead the VPs and the managers and the team. And the reason why that's a skill that a lot of people don't have is because I'm a person that when I speak, people listen. You know, I told you, or maybe you were gone, but you know, I built a travel and events program for Spartan Networks that added several $1 million to the company. I built it out of my head. I just like, you know what, we should do this. And when I spoke, they trusted me and said, go ahead and do it. You hire me because you respect the journey I've been on. You hire me because you want change. You don't want to stay where you're at. You don't want status quo. You don't want to remove your team because they're the people that got you there. But you do know that you can't afford to survive if you keep having to add more heads while your business grows. So, you know, I'm constantly training people to do more with less.
I can accept that. I'm looking at your website. I can see many different search terms that we might use, Felipe. So there's the executive advisory, which I think is similar but different to the executive strategy. Right, Bill?
Yep.
Then there's a fractional COO, so Vice President of Operations. And then there's Growth Partner. And then Executive Transformation Partner. Right. So those are titles that you live by, that you want to be known by, and you want to search for you on Google for, right?
Absolutely, and eventually, it hasn't happened yet. But I want to be a keynote speaker.
Oh, as well. I can see those. Of course, I can see those on the website as well. I left that.
Yeah.
Those are more personal.
Yeah, I ideally, I would love to have a life where I signed up 10 people on ADP. That's passive income for the rest of my life, because that's how the partnership works. I have a few clients in addition to that. So right now, and we had this conversation with Charles Caldwell, I think on Wednesday, people are looking for multiple revenue streams because there's no real solid one right now. Everything is shifting.
What do you mean there's no one? There's always solid ones. They say maybe I see the opposite. People are losing focus. They're not focused on the primary business task, the primary business thing that the business is meant to do. That's why they're not making money. If they feel that, there's almost every market has the opportunities there. Surely.
But every market right now is going through a transformation.
Yes.
Because of technology, because of AI. And if it's going through a transformation, it means everybody out there is not looking to do things the same way that they've always done it.
I agree. That's the point our friend Evans was making earlier, right?
Yeah. And to agree with you, which is going to be rare, I think that people should not lose focus.
It's taking 3 hours.
I think people should not lose focus. And that's the one thing that I always say, and it's going to go back to Evan's point, is stop chasing other people's dreams. And I made that point with Global.Media, but at first Spark Networks was called matchnet.com. And then when people said, what do you do? It's like, oh, we're like match.com, because it was bigger. Right? So that's not really making your own brand. But now when I say Christian Mingle or Jade or Silver Singles or Zeus or, one of their, there was 30 different websites. People understand those brands. You don't say they're like. Christian Mingle is the #1 Christian dating site out there that services that community. Jade is the largest Jewish dating site out there. We were not a religious-based company. We just hosted niche market websites that became the global presence for each one of those niches.
Well, my friend, I look forward to how your business develops as time goes forward, right? Because it will develop, it will change. Again, as Felipe said, there will be a primary revenue stream, a primary task that we perform, a primary service, and then there will be secondary. There might be ones that you have strong passions for or about. And also there will be extra revenue. There's ways to always have extra revenue. I think that's a public speaking bit.
Yeah. So that may be absolutely accurate, and that might be the textbook answer that Felipe is giving, and I'm not disputing it. But Felipe and I don't always agree on how we travel. I've not been in the same type of position for the last, decade. My positions have always been nuanced and different and required adaptive learning in real time. So the last company I consulted for was a consumer packaged good. It was hair care. I've never done hair care before, but I've done Amazon. I understood shipping and logistics. I understood contract negotiations. I understood that we were bloated in paying $10,000 a month for a warehouse that we didn't need, and we can move to Georgia. In 1 year, I moved their entire warehouse to Georgia. I saved them $80,000 a year in their benefits through ADP. I renegotiated their FedEx contract and then negotiated them out of their lease early and got them a smaller place because they were living too high on the hog because they thought they were bringing in $10 million. Well, you are, but you're losing 20.
Cool.
But no one's looking at that.
Mm.
And you're all pointing fingers at each other because you all have different departments that have their own agenda.
Yeah.
So if everyone's not aligned, then they're guarded, and they're going to say, well, this is his fault and this is his fault, and why didn't you do this? No, you're paying too much for marketing. But we made $10 million last year, but you spent 15 in marketing. Make that make sense. So anyway.
Yes. Exciting times ahead, Mr. Bill. Exciting times ahead. Evans, I agree. Nothing good really comes easy, Bill. Nothing good comes easy, Bill. It's always more to this than meets the eye. I'll say that much. I agree.
Absolutely.
Entirely.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see, where, how you go forward. Yeah,
you're excited to see the rise. And
yes, I am. William Rochelle.
The meteoric rise, and the resilience, because that's what's happening right now.
Yeah. All that I really am. Let's say, we all love a good
comeback story.
Yeah, a good story that ends well. Camera, what happened to you? You didn't follow me around the room. How dare you? How rude.
Are all your shows 3 hours long?
No, only yours, Bill. I try and cut them down these days. No, we're about to end. I didn't say you wake up once it starts, right? Right. What did you really want to gripe about? Let's end it with a gripe. Now, I guess one is people trying to sell you stuff on social media. I know that really jars your brain. What else really jars your brain?
Right now, I'm struggling with people misunderstanding who I am.
Yeah, tell me more. What do you mean?
I fought all my life to have a voice. And I'm just now really, really comfortable with being me.
Yeah, you found a voice.
And I don't want to go back. I don't want to have to not tell my truth, not share the boogeyman, because someone might not hire me. In my world, not all money is good money. It's not good money. And if it costs you your integrity, or if it's a company that doesn't align, if I'm going to work with someone, I need to align with them, but they need to align with me just as much. And I'm not saying I can't work with certain people. No, that would be stupid.
Yeah.
But if someone's not going to see me because of my truth, or they got turned off because I said, you know what, this is crazy. We shouldn't be doing this shit. That's why people trust me. That's why when I say let's go this way, they say yes, because they know exactly where I stand. And when I say I lead up and I lead down, it means both the owners of the company know that I am telling them the house is on fire and you need to change right now. And the people below know that I have their best interest at heart, and they don't have to guess where I stand. So with that boldness, which is tailored for my audience, right? I'm not talking to the CEO the same way I'm actually being rougher with the CEO than I am with the staff. I'm kind of opposite, right? I'm like, no, this is your business. You're benefiting from it. You need to make a change. You need to give raises. You need to figure out this. And this is my suggestion on how to do it. I'll deliver the same message to the staff, but it'll be a softer blow because you don't punch down. No, you want to elevate.
I'm a business owner. Yeah, you don't do the work I pay you for. I punch them and then I fire you.
That and that's kind of crappy. I mean, seriously.
It sounds crappy, but look, it's a different world to big businesses. They say, if you don't earn the money, why would I keep you around?
That's different. That's different. But what I would say is, before you get rid of someone, ask yourself, what have I done to make sure that they understand their assignment, that they understand they're doing a good job? I'm going to leave you with this, because this really pissed me off. Two things.
Yeah.
When I was in Plano, Brian said to me,
"It's Brian." Okay.
I'm not going to give you his full information, but he's a friend of mine. We've worked at a couple of companies together. He said, we're moving Kelly out from Nashville to Plano. And I said, but Brian, we don't have a runway for that. We don't know what we're doing tomorrow. And he said, she's a grown woman. She can make her own decisions. That's not my problem. I said, yes, it is. And so this woman moved her entire life and then was let go 6 months later. There was a responsibility there, Brian. You should not have moved somebody out. First of all, it cost too much money. Second, she could have worked remotely until we knew that we were stable. The other one was Jason Ilian. He had an assistant named Christy, and he would have her babysit his kids, and tell her she was the best thing ever. And then one day he came to me and said, yeah, would you fire Christy for me? And I said, for what? And he said, well, the board just doesn't like her. And I'm like, have you talked to her? And he's like, no, will you do it? And I'm like, Jason, you just had her babysitting your kids yesterday. You've never given her any indication that she's not doing a great job. And now you want me to come in and do your dirty work because someone else doesn't like her? The board's not here every day. She works for you.
So it's not the board.
Right. So you got this mandate to get rid of her, and you're not giving me a reason why, nor have you given her a reason why. And the final thing, the same company, but they brought in this guy that made like $300,000 a month. And they were like, he's going to be an advisor and we're going to pay him X amount, basically that a year. And I'm like, we don't have the money to do that. Why are we making this decision? And the board told me, that's not, we've already made the decision, so you need to roll with it. That's not a good business decision. We're running out of money, right? And they're getting mad because I'm telling them the roof is on fire. That's what you want from someone who is operating your business, is someone to tell you that your shit doesn't work and that this is how you do it. But it's up to that person, that company, the culture, to accept what you're saying. And it's up to me to deliver that message as softly or as loudly as I need to protect the business, because it's not personal. You hired me to help grow your business. Your business is sinking. You have 6 months to go. You need to make cuts. This is where we should do it. And then Dum Dum fires all the administrative team and keeps all the VPs. That makes no sense. That's why I said give my job to Alex. It doesn't make sense. You have 10 people making $300,000 a year and no staff. You cut at the top.
Oh God!
You consolidate.
No gods and no servants down below.
It happens all the time.
It does.
And people have titles and they've never been trained to fit that title. So
Chief,
you can't.
I know how it's been described, but that's a big.
Yeah, you're not giving them the education to actually transfer those skills someplace else. You've given them a golden handcuff because you're paying them great money and you've given them a great title, but they cannot go anyplace else and be a vice president, because all they're doing every day is getting your lunch and picking up your laundry. I don't know any VPs that pick up somebody's laundry for them. I'll do it as a kindness, but that's not my regular role. You know?
No, we hope not. As King is welcome. I see you. King says I had to babysit CEO's kids before. Bring your kids to work, and bring your kids to work. They meant King. I'll take care of this too.
Yeah.
Look, we'll see it. Of course, that's why you're grabbing about it, Bill, right?
Yeah. And it's not a gripe. It is saying that the part that makes me the best at what I do is the part that people want me to filter. I'm going to call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
And we're going to move forward. And I'm not going to do it, like I told you, behind the thing. I'm not going to do it out front in front of everybody. We'll be behind closed doors, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Absolutely. You're not going to have me be someone that says, yes, sir, that's smart, because I want to keep my job. You know,
there is a leadership book coming out from you, right? One day.
Huh?
There's a leadership book coming out from you one day soon, right?
Absolutely. And the reason why I didn't do that first is because I think that that's what people would expect. And the Boogeyman was more of a passion and unexpected. And it was what I was really feeling in my guts in these moments right now.
Again, look. So I'm saying they say save your best book for like book number 10.
That's gonna be my biography.
All your books before that would be they'll be terrible now. Well, they'll certainly be improvable. So do what you like now, do the fun you like now, and when the more you do, the better you get. And
absolutely.
So you save your leadership book to the end. That's King of
No. My biography book will be the end. Kinga, call me later if you have time after this, because I'm about to hang up on this man. It's been 3 hours and 8 minutes. Say the outro.
Yes, people scroll says King. I agree with you, but Bill's got a plan. Bill's got a plan to tackle this on a bigger scale. Marsha, I see you too. You've been here way too long, Bill. But it's been a fun conversation.
It's always fun.
It's time to
this one was a little bit more intense because we talked about the book and we went into more of the grit of it, and then we talked about my journey, and I'm not going to allow anyone to put me into a box. And I think I'm resistant to that. And the best part that I'm going to say is that everyone has said, why aren't you opening up your own business? And my mind was closed to that, even Kinga. And finally, I'm open to it.
Yeah, now you're there. Now you're there. Yeah. You know, look, there's many things that operations can improve, and this is what that's why I'm excited for you. You know, as Marsha says, something I learned after my last employer is to be transparent to you.
Yeah.
Each organization is struggling, let your team know. Why hire people just to fire them in a few months? We do this. You were hoping that you hired them, hoping that they're going to save the business, bring the income in. They didn't. They got to go. And well, we're going to see.
That issue was timing. That was 2008. So we just didn't get the investment that we had. And I want to say to Kinga that, you know, a lot of the stuff I'm doing now are things that she was trying to convince me to do, but I wasn't. I had too much going on in my head. Yeah, I had too much going on in my head, and I want to make sure that she gets that credit, because she is so intelligent and she has so many ideas, and I don't want her to think, oh, people don't thank me for like the stuff. You know, I just think that she's brilliant, but there's timing. You know, there's timing.
Yeah.
And so
there's timing. I guess not realizing where you were in terms of the space you were in. I can see the challenge that Kinga had, saying, "Oh, do something different."
Yeah,
like, no.
It wasn't even no. It was like I can't think about doing something different. And you know, when I lost, when my business went under, that was grief. And so I didn't want that responsibility anymore. I was taking my own cash and putting it in the payroll. My payroll was $70,000 every 2 weeks. You know, so I didn't want to do that again. But now I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Let me go. Let me go.
That's about taking risks, my friend. You gotta take risks, you gotta do the big things, and you gotta be brave. Let's see what happens, right?
Absolutely.
Look,
everybody, thank you so much for joining us.
Go and buy Boo's book. Go and buy the Bogeyman Was Built. It is on Amazon, ebook and print book. So definitely go and get your copy. What else do we need? So we go and visit Bill's website. We'll say that as well, because you can.
And I'm offering website building. I'm going to post it on my featured page at a very good rate for the first 5 people, and then it goes up after that. So yeah, hit me up and if you go to my website, or if you're going to direct DM me on LinkedIn, just put in the message website help. You know, and then I'll pull it down. All right, Annie.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for the background. Thank you for the music, which we're going to end with, so our friends get a better idea of what your musical genius looks like. So thank you for your time, my friend. Hopefully, we've got through a fair few things. There's always more, right? There's always more. But you enjoy your evening. We'll work out how to get you back again, and then do some more talking so our friends get to know you better.
Absolutely. Have a good one. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone. Right. We've hit show.
I know you don't like all the flair. Sometimes the shine brings too much glare. So we toned it down for the audience's sound. Global.Media. Any old song. Let's go. Find to stop the show. If you don't know, baby, now you know. If you want your book sold, here you go. Any old song. Let's go. 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 Go. Right now. Global.Media. Let's go. Any old song. formula, watch greatness break. Books go live and the rankings rise. #1 energy right before your eyes. From Nigeria to the United Kingdom, building up voices and igniting freedom. Off to stand taller when the spotlight hits. Global media turns big dreams into business. Paula got power, Paulette brings the crowd. Alexis makes every written word sound proud. Christiana Johnson let the whole room know. Global media got the team now. Run the show, run the show, run the show, run the show, run the show. They make you famous, so you sell more. Make some noise, let the whole world know. Put your name on the cover, then watch your business grow. Books in the air, everybody, let's go. Global media in the building, now start the show. #1, big authority, big legacy. Global media. Who took the lessons from COVID-19, turned pain into power and built a whole team? Who showed us how to rise when the world shut down? Ineosing took the lesson and spread it around. Let's go, he took what we learned and showed how to overcome it. Put 17 voices together and then he went and won it. 8 #1s, let the whole world hear it. Resilience on the page with a champion spirit. Lessons we learned from COVID-19. A story of strength, hope, and victory. Don't just look at it, don't just talk about it. Buy now, buy now, buy now, buy now, buy now. Lessons we learned from COVID. Buy now. In the old song made history. Show 'em how. You famous, awesome. Who makes you famous? So you sell more. No whisper campaigns, we announce your arrival. Turn your book launch into a cultural revival. Faith in the mission, fire in the room. Put your story in the word and let authority bloom. Entrepreneurs